The Athenians. Did you know Athenian coins were printed with a picture of the goddess Athena? Geography and economy. The Greek city-state of Athens was built close to the Aegean Sea, in the middle of Greece. Its location made it easy to interact and trade with people from other city-states and countries. Athens encouraged trade in goods and ideas. Geography also allowed Athens to develop a strong navy and the best fleet of ships in all of Greece. Athens had a market based economy. In fact, the agora, marketplace, was the center of public life. Athenians exported goods such as olive oil, silver, and pottery, and imported what was unavailable at home. Social classes. Athens may have been far ahead of their time in many ways, but they weren't in terms of women's rights. Athenian women were not citizens and had no property rights. Most women did not work outside the home or even choose who they married. Unlike Sparta, Athenian women were not expected to train physically or protect the household. They were expected to take care of the household and teach the girls how to become wives. Slaves were common in Athens, as they were in Sparta, though they were not all war captives. Instead of only farming, slaves in Athens worked in the home, the factories, the city, or the mines. The silver mines were particularly dangerous and unhealthy places to work. Government. Athens had the first democracy in world history, formed around 500 BCE. However, only men born in Athens were allowed to participate as citizens and could vote in the assembly to approve laws. Sometimes young men would get tutoring in public speaking and debate to become more influential in the assembly. In addition, 500 citizens, aged 30 or older, were randomly selected every year to be part of the Council of 500. The council proposed the laws and met every day. Culture. Education was key in Athens, particularly for boys. Citizens in a democracy must be well educated in order to make good decisions. Boys went to school around age 6 or 7. They studied reading, writing, and math, along with physical education and music. All Athenian boys served in the military at age 18. Girls learned household duties and weaving. Girls were generally married and left home around age 15. The Spartans. Did you know Sparta disliked trade so much that they didn't even make their own coins? Geography and economy. The Greek city-state of Sparta was built on flat farming lands on the Peloponnesian Peninsula. The city was much more isolated than Athens. It was not located on the coast, so it had no thriving harbor. The economy mainly consisted of agriculture and warfare. Sparta was not big on trade. Spartans farmed what they could and forcibly took almost everything else they needed from other city-states. This included slaves, called helots. Social classes. Helots were slaves acquired by conquest. They performed almost all the farm work for Sparta. Helots were allowed certain freedoms, such as marriage and some income. They could potentially buy their way out of slavery as well. But there were so many helots that Sparta often punished them for no reason to prevent rebellions or uprisings. Helots were not the only social category in Sparta. Spartan males could become citizens. Other foreigners who were not slaves were called perioikoi. They were allowed to serve in the military or work, but were not citizens. Women in Sparta were relatively free compared to other Greek city-states at that time. As a result, they could own and inherit property. In fact, at one point, almost half the land in Sparta was owned by women. Women were also trained to fight so that they could protect their estates when their husbands were away. Government. People usually think of democracy in ancient Greece, but it did not exist in Sparta. Instead, there was an oligarchy, or government run by a small group of elites. In this case, it was the Council of Elders who had most of the power. It included 2 kings and 28 other nobles over the age of 60. There was an assembly where citizens could participate, but it had little real power. Culture. The ideal Spartan was strong, tough, able to fight, and dedicated to serving the city state. In fact, children who were obviously physically weak or ill were abandoned after birth. Spartan men had to pass a test to achieve full citizenship. To prepare for this, Spartan boys mainly focused on physical training. There was not much schooling beyond basic reading and writing. All Spartans lived simply. In fact, the word Spartan in English means simple or bare, the opposite of luxury.